Welcome back to the channel. This is your Jomba Mabili Mogodi. A few years ago, French-speaking African states of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger underwent a radical transformation because of military coups that changed their leadership. These three countries joined forces. They call themselves the Sahel Alliance, and they actually went a step further and withdrew from kitu inaitwa ECOWAS, the Economic Community of Western African States. Immediately after that, these three Sahel countries kicked out France from operating within their countries. France has a very huge presence in Western African countries, especially Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Na hapo, what they do is that they say they are providing technical assistance, especially security with their military. But in real essence, what they are doing, they are extracting rare earth minerals and expensive minerals like gold, like diamonds, like oil and gas from these countries and exporting them to France, Europe, and the Western states like the United States. After this happened, we have seen a very big shift in how global geopolitics are happening. The United States invaded Venezuela a few months ago. After invading Venezuela, they removed physically the president of Venezuela, extradited him or renditioned him. It's not an extradition. Extradition is legal. He was renditioned. Renditions are illegal. So he was renditioned to New York, where he is being charged with a bunch of crimes. But as we have to agree that this is an illegal process, it is not lawful under any international law, where that president is now being held, and the US government effectively took over the oil wealth of Venezuela. Just the other day, President Ruto started constructing or brought down the original bombers of Kenya, and now is constructing a Boma International Convention Center, kitu kama hiyo. And in this convention center, in May, just next month, President Ruto is expected to host the France-Africa Summit. We go back to the top. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, Sahel states, withdrawn from ECOWAS. Why is France hosting the French-African Summit in Kenya, which is an Anglophone-speaking country? Jiulize hivyo wewe Mkenya. Just a few weeks ago, President Ruto has been nominated or selected by the French president again to be the official representative of the African Union Summit in the G7 summit. President Ruto basically has been appointed as the official representatives of the African Union at the G7 summit. G7 summit is the group of seven, which is basically the US, the UK, Europe, all these big seven Western states. And this has raised a few questions in me. Why President Ruto? Okay, why is he hosting the French African Summit, which is supposed to be hosted in Western Africa, because that is where people speak French. Hapa sisi we are Anglo, we are an Anglophone country, tunaongea Kizungu, English. Sawa. And then at the same time, the United States of America invaded Iran, started a war with Iran. A few months ago, it's a week, I think it's weeks ago. The United States invaded Iran. And why would you ask yourself, why did the US invade Iran? It is the same thing, oil and gas. Ni mafuta tu, watu wanatafuta, mineral wealth. That war has gone the way it has gone. Technically, where I sit, in my opinion, Iran walishinda hiyo vita. And now things have become very thick for especially the Gulf countries, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, all these countries that are sympathetic to Israel and the US are suffering. From what I understand, thousands of jobs are being lost as we speak in those countries, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, so Dubai, Abu Dhabi. And we know that there are thousands of Kenyans who live and work in these countries, including my friends and my relatives. I know quite a few who live and work there. And what I know is of at least 30% of the workforce is going to be reduced in those countries. So that war, that Iran-America war, Iran-US war has significant ramifications kwetu sisi directly as Kenyans. At the same time, you come back here to Africa. Israel the other day recognized Somaliland. They recognized the sovereignty of Somaliland, which is very aggressive, and it is against the United Nations, because all African nations are recognize Somalia as one country. And sisi wenyewe pia hapa tumekuwa na a few gaffes. Our yule jamaa wetu, our permanent secretary, the one who twangs ngaf 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 ngaf, Sing'oei Korir. After Ruto became president a few months into this government, they made a diplomatic gaffe whereby Kenya hosted Somaliland leaders and gave them something like state recognition. Sawa? And this brought a very big fight between Somalia and Kenya. And in fact, Musalia Mudavadi had to apologize to the president of Somalia and the Republic of Somalia kwa kufanya hayo hicho kisanga. Where am I going with this? As we know, our president has had a hand in Sudan with the RSF. That one we know. He has hosted Hemedti, who is the leader of the RSF, that rebel movement in Sudan, which has been massacring women and children. And there has been no ramifications whatsoever for him personally and for Kenya as a republic. We have seen how our president moves with the UAE, especially Dubai. A lot of dealings zake za kibinafsi, and as a state we as Kenya tumepatiwa in quotes mkopo by the United Arab Emirates. We are receiving a lot of gold is being exported to the UAE through Kenya, and this begs to raise a question, especially if you are a Kenyan, considering where we are right now with our own internal political wranglings. We are seeing how goons are being deployed and how violence is being meted out against people who are perceived to be President Ruto's opposition. Unajiuliza tunaelekea wapi? Mimi, in my opinion, when I look at this, is that the Western countries, the US, Europe, the United Kingdom, France to be specific, have come to realize that they are losing grip on these poor countries that are rich in minerals, hizi nchi zetu za Kiafrika. And now they are doing each and everything within their power to regain their grip on our countries. And that is why you can see them playing and toying around with President Ruto, and they are giving him all these platforms to host the France Africa Summit hapa Nairobi, inviting him as the prefect to Africa at the G7 Summit. And they are going further, sawa? They are going further because what is being targeted, in my opinion, by these countries is the Somalia oil and gas that is outside their Indian Ocean. That is why Israel is recognizing Somaliland. So as you think about it, as you consider this, ask yourself, where is President Ruto taking us as the Republic of Kenya in the global dynamics? And the funniest thing, just the other day, few days ago, I think Friday last week or Saturday, President Ruto stood on a podium. Akasema African Union is no longer fit to provide leadership in Africa. The same African Union where he spent billions of shillings campaigning for the late Baba Raila Amolo Odinga to become the Africa Union Commission chairperson. So if African Union has become a useless institution and is no longer fit to provide leadership in Africa, huh? Do you see where I am going with this? Then what are the Western nations planning to do to Africa? And why specifically are they using President Ruto to move this agenda of the decimation of Africa? Doesn't matter whether you are Kenyan, doesn't matter whether you are African, from whatever African country, whether you are Tanzanian, whether you are South African, you are Zimbabwean, you are Moroccan, you are Algerian, you are Nigerian. We need to start having a good, thorough look at President Ruto and his role in the decimation of Africa by the Western states in search of our rare earth minerals and our expensive minerals like gold, diamonds, and especially oil. The problem here is oil and gas. Thank you very much. As I said, we are doing new formats on the YouTube channel. The few videos I have posted the past few days, I am moving around, I am meeting Kenyans, average Kenyans, Kenya wa kawaida out there on the streets, in their mtaa, in their locations. We are talking about their challenges and we are talking about how we are going to change the Republic of Kenya, Africa, and the world in general. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you.